So my name is Patrice Désilets, and I'm the president and creative director at Panache Digital Games.
First, we're going to talk a little about Reboot in Croatia. How have you seen this conference grow in the 4 years you've been coming?
Oh, it went from, I think there were 200 people the first year, and I did the very first keynote of that year where I announced Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey for the very first time. And I remember people asking me, but why are you doing it in Croatia? But I was like, I'm not really in Croatia. Physically I am, but Croatia is also on the web, and so it will get out there. And I think I proved to the people that it worked. And now I saw it really grow. We went to Split one year, different place, came back here, and now there's a lot more people from outside Croatia and Eastern European countries that are coming. And so I saw it grow for real, and it's really neat. And now he wants to grow and come to Canada doing it also. But it's awesome. I really I enjoy my week in Croatia every year now.
What are your thoughts? There's a lot of indie game studios, a lot of indie games on display here about game development here in this country.
Yeah, but this is my problem when I come. I don't have time to see the other people's game. I go to the talks. And but it always been, and that's what I've been telling people, and even my publisher is here this year, Private Division. It's like, come, because there is this it's not, I don't like the term, but the emergence of game developers in Eastern European countries, and I feel like they're like we were in Montreal back in the late 90s, beginning of the 2000s, and now it's a real scene, right? And I feel like they would just want to make games. The passion is there, they're young, and some are actually really good, but I don't have time to play their games, and it's a shame. I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of passion, what's it been like for you to create your own studio and build something from scratch?
I'm still building, so maybe I can really answer it when the game ships and we have one out there, but it's been awesome, really, with tough days, tough months, but it's always been the dream, right? Like, you work for somebody else for a long time, you make great games with great people, but you don't make all the decisions. And then I'm a guy who, at the end of the day, wanted to make his own decision. And even I may make some mistakes along the way, just making decisions all the time, even if they're stressful, it's really fun. It's a bit like a game, by the way, right? Like, there's a decision tree and you need to make the good one. And but it's been because you need to build a brand for your studio as you're building a brand, also a new IP, and I wouldn't say that sometimes it crosses in your brain the two, but it may happen, and but it's been really a blast. Honestly, I've been lucky. Like, Panache is financed on one side, and Ancestors is financed on another side by a publisher. And we're 30 now. We were 6 the first year, coming to my place every Tuesday for the team meeting, and then going back home. And then, 6 months down the road, we had an office. Then it became real, right? And the 6 became 10, because I remember we were 6, and one of my 2 art directors, he said, "Pat, we need a coder, man." And I kid you not, 5 minutes later, somebody knocked on the door. He said, "Hello, I just came out of university. I'm a coder. Here's my CV." And we went, "Okay." And the next day he said, "Okay, come to do a real interview," but he was already hired, man. And he's still now with the team. And then we're 30 now. And we're having fun. I hope. I know I am, but I know my team too, because in those 3 years, only 2 persons left. So, I mean, it's been good. It's been good.
What were your goals heading into Ancestors?
The really first thing is, at the very beginning, I was not ready to do another game, right? It went really quick from I'm making something to, oh no, you're on the street and you're not making it anymore. So it was like, okay, what do I do now? So I wrote my 15 best game ideas. And I knew that the first game would have to be about building tools and assets, because you're starting from scratch and you need that. You need like a back catalog of stuff and tools in order to make those 15 games. And so at very first, my first game I needed to make was more like a tech demo. And so I pitched to someone and he said, yeah, but where's Assassin's Creed? We need the Assassin's Creed game. So I said, okay, so I'm the historical dude, right? Okay, so what historical period I could do with a small team? And then I thought of prehistoric because there's no cities, no crowd, no swords and whatnot. So I said, I could really limit the character which I need to build, the third-person character, and the 3D environment and all the interaction. It could be a little bit more contained if I do prehistoric world. And I said, but let's go even like further back, and let's do it for real. Let's get on the trees and tell that story. And let's do it. And then what's great is that human evolution fits with an evolution of a game, where you start small and you get bigger and more powerful and whatnot. So I said, now we got something. So the historical guy will do a third-person action game where evolution, just like any game, is the core of it all.
What does that open up for you from a gameplay perspective?
Well, like I said in my talk yesterday, at first you say, there's no architecture, so it's going to be easy. But organic, right, in 3D is even a little bit more difficult than really structural stuff, because this is really more like architecture is all about sharp angles, and so a computer is way better at doing sharp angles than organic stuff. And so, but it opened up, okay, how do I interact with nature? How does it work? And just like I have this feeling with my ape when I play of going in on a tree, going up and then going on branches, jumping and catching some like foliage and whatnot. It opened up just like people go to Venice or Tuscany and they look at buildings and say, I've climbed this, so I could. Right now I'm going in parks and it's the same thing. I see a tree, so, this is how it works. So it opened up, yes, nature for me as a game developer.
When it comes to, you mentioned obviously apes, on the Hollywood side, we've seen a lot of advancements with performance capture, with the Planet of the Apes movies and stuff too. When you watch that stuff, does that influence you at all?
I try to not to be influenced too much by other people's work, but not work, but if they already took a subject matter and build a story on top of it, I try to avoid it because there's already an interpretation of it. So I'm more into science than Hollywood on that side. But I know that's what people have in their mind. And right now we're not there yet in where we are in production, because it's more about the gameplay aspect of it all, where we'll come back and maybe then we'll go, okay, how do they do the exact, pure, how it moves really? And so for sure, my animators, they watch Planet of the Apes multiple times. But me, I don't want to get influenced by somebody's interpretation of reality right away.
What have you liked about the own research you've had to do historically about this period of time?
Well, it made me realize some stuff that I had in my subconscious, is that we are still big apes, and I did my talk about that. That's what we are deep down. And I realized that my stress comes from a fear of being eaten alive by a leopard, even though there's no more leopards around us. So I realized, calm down. It's not real. Most of your fear are not real. So relax. And also I realized that yes, right now we're mutants. Like, we live in this world that is so fast and that is not made for us biologically. And so, and at first I never thought that would be the case while attacking that subject matter. But I realized, I look at ourselves and it changed the way I see how we behave and what the team should be. Like, we're hunting still. And so, okay, hunting, so everybody needs to, so it's a strategy and you need a tactic, and at the end there will be this prize and it will be awesome. And that if everybody would come back to the roots of that, whoa, we're all those apes on that rock flying really, really fast in the empty space. Maybe we could be just one tribe for once and manage to live in a better place.
When it comes to Ubisoft, they're well known for having massive teams work on games. What's it been like for you having even 30? It's pretty small when it comes to video game development these days.
Yes, but for indie people, when I say I'm 30, a lot of them say, "Oh, I'll just wait." They say when I say I'm 30, the indie guys say, "Oh, you have a big team." Yeah, but I'm used to 300, 400 people, and sometimes 1,000, right? So, but you know what? I knew because I made Sands of Time, and we were 40 something, more or less. Okay, I think there was a peak at 65 with all the QA and whatnot, but roughly, let's say 40. And so I knew it was possible to make something of quality with a smaller team. And I saw the change between the smaller team to a bigger one, and I saw the problems that arise with bigger teams. Communication, the layer of management that's needed, right? In the middle, because you need to manage a team of 32 animators instead of. So I knew the difference, and then it's a matter of putting everybody in his right chair, having the best teammate possible, like really good quality people that you're trying to hire. Then you let them do their craft, right? Because that's why they're there, or your character modeler. So do your thing, and forget about the politics of a corporation. Just I want the artist in you. You're a good coder of 3D, do it. You're good like illustrator, do it, right? So, and right now, Ancestors is a bit the result of those people doing their thing, their art. Then you also have to manage a bit the scope. You cannot do it all. Like, that's why it's not a AAA game that we're making. It's a III. So the quality is there, but not the scope.
When it comes to the game industry today, more people watch people play video games through outlets like Twitch than play games themselves. How does that influence you as a game developer?
You know it will happen, I would say. That's how it influences us, is that you know people is gonna like play and show it live. You know it. It didn't change much in my thought process, I would say. I'm trying to make a good game, but what's funny is that I had to make a decision about how linear the game was. At the beginning, the game was much smaller. Before Private Division came in, I said, okay, let's do a real, a bigger game. Let's do a real open world game and not this episodic thing that I was trying to make. So the game is not episodic. Just wanted to make sure. And so I'd open up. I said, okay, let's give back the freedom to people. It's not about reliving what actually happened back in the day. It's like, this is like all the ingredients that were there back in like 10 million years ago. Then you, player, you write your own narrative of evolution of us on this planet. So that for Twitch people, for YouTubers, it's like each time you start a game of Ancestors is different.